Black space is a place for us.
Real people with real issues.
Discussing real topics.
Black space.
A safe space for our community.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Black Space Live. I'm your host and your girl, Genele Love. Tonight, we're going to be talking about, are women still doing the 90-day rule? Like, what is that all about? So we want to go ahead and make sure that you subscribe, like, share our channel. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, obviously YouTube. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and like, subscribe. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. We have a lovely panelist here. We have Dana back for like the 4th or 5th time. I love having you on the show. But we're going to go ahead and start top right with a lovely Torin. If you want to introduce yourself to the viewers.
Hi, my name is Torian DeVoe. I'm currently residing in the Virgin Islands, but I'm from Los Angeles, California. I gave up farming, which I was doing for 5 years, to come here, and now I have another business where I'm going to be opening up a beauty supply store in November. So looking towards other revenues for entrepreneurship in other places. So that's what I'm all about. Thank you for having me here today.
Awesome. We're so glad to have you here, Torin. Thank you for sharing. And Charmaine, the lovely Charmaine.
Hi, I am Charmaine. I'm a preschool director. I reside in Georgia. I'm single, no children, and I enjoy cooking and, finding fun things to do.
Okay, perfect. And thank you, Charmaine. Good to have you. And Dana, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I'm Dana. I'm a real estate investor. I reside here in Dallas, Texas, and we buy houses here in Texas, Tennessee, Florida, North Carolina. If you have a good house at a good price, we'll buy it.
And thank you for Dana. And Dana, ladies, Dana is a high value man. He is single. Okay, to all the viewers out there.
Yeah, I'm single.
Yeah, he's single. Good guy, great guy. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. So you all are familiar with Steve Harvey, obviously, right? National syndicated radio host, TV show. He does it all. He's been around forever, ever. So he had this book. Does anyone know what year that he wrote the book?
I'm not quite sure, but I think it was the early 2000s, if I'm correct.
It was a movie came after that, yeah.
And then the movie came, yeah. So it's been around for a long time. So he basically, just to get some accolades, obviously came up with the concept, the 90-day rule. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit today and diving into that and seeing, what does that mean in our community? Are women still practicing this? Is it something that's even relevant? Is it something that give women empowerment, control over men? Like, how do the men feel about it in our community? Is it necessary? Is it whatever? So I'm going to start with Charmaine. So what is the 90-day rule like to you? What does it mean?
You abstain from sex, when you first start talking to someone until 90 days. And then, you kind of just, I guess it gives people time to decide whether they are into that person or not without the constructs of, sex.
Gotcha. Now, would you say as a woman, as a single woman, is that something that you actually go by, the 90-day rule? Like, how do you feel about that? Do you practice it yourself?
No. So for me, it's just chemistry, connection, however I feel like the relationship is going. I don't like to waste my time. So if I don't have like an interest in the person, I'm just not going to keep pursuing them.
But would you give up the draws on the first night, though? That's the golden question.
If
the man was right, if the chemistry is right. Because we've all been there, right?
Yeah, we're grown,
Right. Okay, gotcha. So, Turin, how do you feel about that? Am I saying your name correctly, dear?
Torian, it's close enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
Turian. Okay. So, what does a 90-day rule mean to you?
So similar to what Charmaine said about not engaging with somebody for 90 days until you guys get to know each other. But there's a lot of caveats to that for me that brings up so many questions. Like, does that mean 90 days exclusively? And if you're not exclusive, if you're dating other partners, what about the people that you were dating before them? Are you still continuing the 90 days that you were with them? And say, for example, I only have 10 more days with this person. I have 80 more days with you. Does that mean now I'm having sex with this guy and you're having to wait another 80 days? It's just so many things that go along with that I think have to be dived into. So I don't really prescribe to 90-day rules so much.
Yeah, I love that. Definitely, absolutely. And it's funny how you say you have a couple of guys on the system at the same time, and I guess whoever makes it to the finish line first. I don't know, right? I always used to say, "May the best man win," right? But only one can. If you ain't a hoe, right? Obviously, right? But there's nothing wrong with hoes either, should we? But Dana, what does the 90-day rule mean to you?
Either one or two things. Either she slept with a bunch of guys and now she's trying to come to Jesus, and so she's trying to put you on the sucker 90-day rule, or she's just trying to make sure you're not a serial killer.
Okay, let's dive into that, because me personally, when I was single before I got married, that first thing you said, where I was just tired of the dudes just kind of just thinking they could just have sex. I'm like, you know what? The next set, they're going to be put on some rules, right? Like,
don't
because
do it to me. let me do what the other.
Somebody's got to be held accountable here. So it's like,
okay.
and then like that second part that you said, sometimes you just want to filter and get to know someone before you lay down with them, and whether it's having sex or making love, before you connect souls. I call it connecting souls with somebody. Like, I need to know, like, where you're from, what's your favorite color. Like, those aren't things you can cover in like a couple dates. Like, real stuff that like, if you're looking to build a future with somebody, it's not just about jumping in bed and having sex. So it takes time to do that. Charmaine, I see you laughing. What are you thinking? What's on your mind?
Well, and I agree 100%, but does it take 90 days? And is it, have you ever experienced like a whirlwind relationship where it's just you connected, things flowed organically, it's like you've known each other forever, that type of
draws flying, yeah.
Right. And it may not have been draws flying on the first date, but maybe it took 30, or maybe it took 15, or maybe it was the second date, or so.
But let's keep it a buck. Within the first 10 minutes if you'll sleep with the guy or not.
Oh, for sure.
He just got to talk himself out the draws, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dana, I mean, have you had a woman put you on a 90-day plan or a 90-day rule?
They've talked about it. I mean, I don't know what. Yeah, they probably talked about it, but it never go like that. If a woman like you, I mean, she can tell you it's 90 days. So when she finally give you the draws on the second or third date, she gonna say, "Look, you broke the rule. It wasn't my fault. She put it on me."
Right.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
She don't want to be accountable, right?
No accountability. There you go. She know women. No accountability.
Like, why do you have to smell good and take me to Ruth Chris? Like, you didn't have to do all that.
Right.
I normally don't do this, but
Does that make you look at them differently?
I mean, I slept with a woman and dated her for 2 years afterwards. So I mean, not really. The thing is, if that chemistry is there and y'all really vibe, y'all got a lot in common, you can roll with it. Because I mean, everybody lying anyway. At this point.
Dana, is there a fine line between a woman who gives it up right away and then you thinking in the back of your mind, like, how many dudes is she sleeping with on the first night? Like, how do you know she didn't just sleep with a dude like last week on the first night?
I mean, if I smashed it in the whip, then yeah, that definitely don't go that far.
She ain't got no standards at that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, if she's backseat material at the first date or third date or something like that, then it's different. I mean, if y'all been dating for a while, obviously you can smash in the whip, but I think a lot of time it comes from I have conversations about morals. you always throw tested questions out there.
Right.
And like, I like threesome, 2 chicks. What about you and 2 dudes? And she like, oh yeah, I do that all. Oh yeah. Okay. So you throw little tested questions and stuff like that out, and you kind of see a background,
So you put all the pieces together, and then if the draws are flying early, then you're like, okay, that's a hole right there.
I take it back to sales. I'm in sales, so I do all the pre-qualifying questions on the very first conversation. So we're gonna see where this gonna go before we go on the date. You already like me. We know what's up. Like we don't already got to who, what's what. So I mean, you want to do it right. The first date or third date? I'm with it, but we like each other at that point. So.
Right.
I'm interested to hear about these pre-qualification questions. Like, give me 3 of the questions that you ask a lady to pre-qualify her. Because I like that.
When we first started talking, I always ask, well, what are you looking for in a guy? Mm-hmm. I mean, 1 or 2 ways you can run it. I ain't gonna give too much game, but I mean, you can cookie cutter the situation to be whatever she needs you to be at that point. But I don't do that. And I ask her what are deal breakers.
Okay.
And so she could tell me the deal breakers, then we can kind of go for that from there. Because if one of her deal breakers is something that that's something that I do or have or whatever, then it's a wrap. I'm not gonna compromise myself for anybody. So it don't even need to be. If she's like, I don't like guys with kids. Well, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, I have a thought of abundance when it comes to people. So,
amen.
It's Tuesday. Yeah. I can go outside. As long as you got some money and you look somewhere handsome, you'll be all right.
Right, exactly.
You gotta have some sense, though. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I mean,
you gotta have some.
But 2 out of 3 work. Either any 2 out of 3 you got, you can pretty much work with it.
Yeah.
As long as one of them's some money.
I know that's right. So the 90-day rule goes out the window if a guy has money and woman.
No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all, actually. I mean, if that's what your intention is, then there is no 90 days involved in that in the first place. That's already out the window from the beginning. But if that is your intention to set up that you're going to get to know this person and see what they're all about, then the money is it already comes as part of the dating process because that's naturally the way that he lives his life. And it's not a big deal, So
I'm not talking about giving you money. I'm talking about like this, right? Women like shiny things. They like security, right? So it's deep embedded in DNA. You like security. That's why you like people who have money. That's why you like a guy who works out because he can survive and replicate. It's deep in the DNA. So I mean, I think
right. I agree with that.
The guy in the Benz has a better shot than the guy in the bucket, right?
Well, that's just a matter of more than the Benz doesn't just signify. The bucket is the signifier, not really the Benz. In my personal opinion,
the Bentley.
I mean, I don't really care about the car. I want to know what is his long-term plans. What is he? Is he going to be invested in me? Yeah, he has all that, but that doesn't mean he's going to be a generous person. I'm not interested in anybody who's not going to be invested in my future. In like we're doing this together. I've seen plenty of people who have nice cars and they aren't kind or generous, so it doesn't really matter.
What penis is, so
I mean, they always say men will change for the woman, for the right woman. Like people change for the right woman. You just don't be the right person sometimes.
Well, the penis size can't change, so
that's not true.
You said what?
What type of late night shows you watching?
I missed all the penis questions.
The enhancement skills. So let me ask you this, Dana. So women who put you on that 90-day rule, if it's someone who you really see as like wife material, and sex isn't an issue to you or a commodity to you anyway, are you willing to wait just to appease her or to appeal to her to make her possibly a wife someday? If it's someone you see like, okay, this is my dream girl,
I mean, I don't think sex is ever the goal. Like I'm not shooting for the sex. It just comes along the way.
Right.
Now, if it comes at the 10-mile marker or the 2-mile marker, it still come if you like that person, right?
Right.
Will I wait? I mean, if she's straight and we got other things to do, and it is what it is. But I think that women can't wait. Once they realize they really like you and realize you're not a serial killer, you got your stuff together, you take care of your kids. I mean, hey, it'd be that, that call. What you doing? I'm working. What's up? I'm just gonna stop by, let you work. It's all good. All right.
Right.
Yeah. Then you open the garage or whatever, and it's the outfit. You're like, oh, okay. So I mean, yeah.
Everybody know what time it is. Taryn,
Yeah.
what's on your mind? I love your facial expressions.
Well,
What do
I
you
was
think?
just having a little moment. Somebody opened the door. I'm like, boy, if you don't close that door. But I was listening to what he said, and I totally agree. I do agree. People make that. Once you vet somebody, and they're not crazy. That's the most important thing. Somebody being of a sound mind, because right now these days people are losing it all over the place. So once you kind of got that established, and you keep watching that, and you're attracted, things come naturally. They absolutely do flow. And I think that putting false or pre-prescribed things on it that are so rigid can sometimes shift the flow of how it would have developed naturally. Maybe somehow you could be forcing something to be something when it's not, or you could be running away from it too quickly because you don't want to wait out that time. So I think if people do things more organically, I think that they're going to get a more organic result versus like having a strict 90-day rule.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that, because when I was dating, I found usually after the first 2 weeks, like if a dude is going to get on my nerves or we're just not on the same page, then he usually falls off on his own after like 2-3 weeks anyway. So I never even needed to put him on a timeline of when he was going to get the sex, because he just did something stupid and he's out of there. So, and then I'm on to the next. But do you think, Charmaine, men respect the 90-day rule? Like, is it respected? Let's just talk about within our community.
No, I don't think so.
And why do you think they don't respect it?
I think men, and of course there are exceptions to everything, but men generally, they associate love or interest with sex. And so if I have to wait so long, you are not interested, or you're using me, or you don't like, you're not really all that into me. So I think for women it could be a lot easier, but because we're more emotional in that way. But no, I don't think they understand. Well, I'm not going to say they understand. I don't think a lot of people, men and women, understand that putting a specific time limit on it is not for just the sake of putting a time limit on it, but for the reasons that they do put that time limit on it. It could be just to make sure that you are not a serial killer and I need 90 days to decide that.
Right.
Or, for various reasons. So
do you find if it's someone that you like genuinely like you actually want to make them wait because you want to just build on that chemistry and then wait for that perfect opportunity? And it's not even necessarily about going through that timeline. You just really just want to wait for the right moment because you really, really like this person.
I think that happens more when you're in your, maybe late teens, early 20s. I think more along you get to your mid 20s and 30s and, up there, then it just flows kind of organically, rather than waiting for special moments, because we have so many moments in life that are fleeting, like I think by a certain age, we kind of capture moments more than waiting for them. So that's how I feel about that one.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
I would say when I got in my late 30s, for me personally, and maybe it's just, me as a woman and my character, but if I really, really like someone, I think when I was younger, it was like, okay, well, I don't care how long I knew them. If I like them, then we're going to do what we do. But in my late 30s, I actually wanted to take my time more. Like, okay, let's take our time, because one, there's no rush. You're not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. We both realize that we're both quality. We both have something to bring to the table. Like, let's just let it happen organically. But I think when I was younger, like, it was different for me. Like, I didn't care. I didn't think about, if he had a job or a car, like, oh, I liked him. Let's just jump in the bed together. Right. So, maybe for every woman is different. But Dana, do you think that men respect the 90-day rule?
No, I think that we wouldn't mind waiting. We just don't want other niggas skip us in line.
I know that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you over here hitting one dude with the 90-day rule and you calling me like, you know, like women have man, we not dumb. We know women have multiple dudes. One dude pay for this, one dude take care of that, one dude handy with this. If you got
Really?
yeah, women
Well,
got
honestly, a lot of women don't do that. Now, I think women should do that, but a lot of women don't do that. A lot of women, when they start talking to someone, they talk to that person.
Put the eggs in one basket. Yeah.
Right. And that's for me, that's a problem.
eggs in one basket.
Yeah, because then you set yourself up for disappointment because that 3 weeks go by and his ass didn't make the cut because he just did something dumb. Now you got to start all over again. You didn't have somebody in the back burner to pull up.
But what about all the eggs in your DMs the whole time? Like, come on now, man, be real. When you in a relationship, you stack them people to the side, them DMs to the side. You may not look at them, you may not respond, but you click a profile every now and then just to see when he finna start messing up. You finna go through them DMs and see what's up, them inbox messages. And
I don't. I've had plenty of people inbox me in a relationship. I make it very clear I'm not interested. And then whenever something is over, I'm not really going to go to Facebook and look through people who DM me from Facebook. I like to meet a person in face to face, so I can see what's really going on with you. I need to look in your eyes, you know, all of that. I think that's very vitally important.
And situations could have changed from the time that they hit you up that first time to now anyway. So you don't know what you're stepping into. So
you know what's crazy, ladies? I try not to get into too much personal stuff on here, but you know, personal stuff is probably like the best stories you could tell. I actually met my husband through a DM on Facebook.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Right. He slid in my DMs. He was actually trying to reach me for like 7 months. And you know how ladies, they send that, hello, how are you? How are you? 3 months later, hey, you there? You alive? And it's like, you just ignore them. And then Dana, like you said, you know, I had come out of a relationship and I was like, oh, okay, let me go through these DMs and see. And then we started talking from there. But yeah,
from the DMs to the guts, a true love story.
And I didn't make him wait either.
Yeah, I mean, true love story. And
we got married. Right? We got married and had a baby, you know. And,
oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So how long did it take from the intro to the marriage?
It was pretty quick. Like we got married in under a year.
See, girl, go on, girl. You
have a quality product. I mean, he's like, okay, the pictures match the quality product.
I love it, sis. You're inspiring.
Right. Yeah. And that was, you know, I didn't get married until I was 37. So, you know, and I'm almost at 40.
I love it.
So, yeah.
I love it.
So it's funny how we're like, I don't go on my DMs. I'm like, I did. you know, and I tried online dating and I tried online dating and stuff like that. So that's why responding to a DM wasn't like a big deal because I was
online date
online. Oh, you do? What sites are you on, Tremaine?
Tinder, and it's the ghetto.
Is it still hood?
It's so horrible.
I met my ex before I got married on Tinder. We were together for like 3 years, and it's the hood. It's the hood still.
It's just
it's ghetto, yeah.
It's
rough. It's rough. I think that's in general, though.
Yeah. Have you tried Bumble and like Hinge? I hear that's pretty decent. My
I don't know. I tried Bumble and I'm on there, but I don't know how to use that thing. It's like some people have to respond within a certain time frame where they can't respond, or I don't know how to.
I think you have 24 hours to respond, like when you match with someone. My girlfriend was telling me.
Yeah, that's too much. All that restriction.
I know you got to be like stalking everything. Like you got to be on it. Like.
Yeah. Well, have you guys ever tried anything like eHarmony? They're supposed to be really good because they think about more along the lines of who you are, who that person is. They say they match the most couples, all that kind of stuff.
When I was on there, all the brothers who were 50s wearing jerseys, like they were still out here, you know, in the streets, parking lot pimping. Like it wasn't my
jerseys.
You know, the ones they still try to wear the jerseys and the skinny jeans. Big 50.
With the earpiece, with the full,
with the Bluetooth. This is gonna get a chicken box and a 40 girl. You know, I'm like, come on. No, but I don't want to cut down eHarmony, but yeah, there's probably like some really good dudes on there, but they're like the church guys. Not that there's anything wrong with the church guys, but they're probably corny for me.
I hear you. Right, I hear you. I want some church spice. That's what I want.
Right. Yeah. Like, give me the pastor's son, you know?
Okay. The PK, you want the preacher's kid?
Yeah, he out in the parking lot. He got some rims on, nice rims on his car. You know, he got one gold tooth on the side of the
Wow. Christian thugging. Okay.
van.
Okay,
Right.
there you go.
Yeah.
Christian Thugging. I love it.
Yeah, and I got the total opposite of that. My husband's a doctor, so he's like in the books, and you know that's all he does. So
That's cool.
so my next question is: does the 90-day rule give women empowerment? Would you say, Charmaine? Is that like a sense of empowerment, or
It can be, but it can also cause some strife a little bit.
right?
So I think setting boundaries is great.
Mhm.
But I think that if, for example, you guys are chilling, the night is going right, and things just organically and it just feels right, but you're so caught up on the 90 days that you're just like, no, we're not going any further than this or whatever, just cut it off. I don't know, maybe that can go over wrong or convey the wrong message to the other person. I mean, and you have the right to do that, of course.
Yeah,
that's the reason why you're doing it. Is that, I mean, you're not a virgin.
pretty much. So what happens when you get to that 90 days and the man ain't hitting it right in the bedroom? The penis is small,
And
he can't work the middle. You know, she might got a loud pack.
I mean, if you felt them all the way up to there, I would say you try and work with the person. But if after time and instruction and communication, and the person is still not getting it, then they don't really want to get it. And at that point, it's a no.
Right. So like, I'm 36, and I know what I want. I know what's important to me in dating and in a partner. So I'm already like trying to get to know them. I'm asking questions. So by the time that situation even arises, I know whether or not, I would want to sleep with them or, continue the relationship or see what it could be. So.
But what if, Torian, what if the penis is small? Like, how does a woman work with a small package?
I can work with that, honestly. I mean, I'm not going to be happy about it, but I know how to make it grow because I know it sounds crazy as hell, but I actually have a company and we're off season right now because we're getting everything together. But I make an all natural product. I'm going to tell you all the ingredients. You can go home and mix it up yourself. It's maca root, nettle root, vitamin B, and stinging nettle. And all of these have been scientifically proven with like research white papers to increase libido, stamina, speed, performance, and the maca root will actually increase your size. And so does pork. If you go and look at the studies of pork has been proven to increase a man's member size. So, I think that could be worked with, but if it doesn't get hard, now that's the problem.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's erectile. Erectile dysfunction is a bitch.
Yeah, that's a problem. Now that's a problem.
That's interesting, Dana. Are you buying that penis enhancement cocktail?
You know how many dudes gonna have a stroke with their pork about to try? They're gonna be at home like, let me eat this bacon. I mean, I think sexual chemistry is important. I mean, you don't want to be like throwing a hot dog down the hallway either. You kind of want to, I think compatibility, sexual compatibility in general is just important. I think those type of questions, even if you don't do it, I need to know like you do like this, and that, right? If you like, nah, well, that might be a deal breaker then,
Oh yeah, I understand.
Yeah, so, we grown. Like
Dana, what would be a deal breaker with a woman if you get to, let's just not even say 90 days. If you get to 30 days and you finally have sex with her, what would be a sexual deal breaker for you?
I mean, everybody give head, but if you don't get head, I mean, that's a wrap. I mean, but we would have had that conversation way before then. Like, yo, I'm not gonna get there to the window and be like, yeah, I don't know what I want from McDonald's. Nah, I know what I want. So,
That's a requirement for you, or do you think most men require that?
Men like head. I mean, where we at? Like,
but are women out here not giving head?
The ones I know all do, but I'm just saying, like in the general sense of, whatever.
There are some women
But
like
you do things better when you like to do it than when you do it. You know,
Yes,
so if
I
you like
agree.
to do it.
that's
Okay.
But I mean, not
If you like to do it to me,
okay. Yeah.
yeah. If you just out here giving up the mouth, then I'm kind of that's a red flag a little bit. You know.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so that's one. They don't give head. So what else? Like, is a sexual deal breaker for you?
Sexual deal breaker.
Yeah.
You couldn't have slept with anybody I ever shook hands with. That's like a deal. Like you can't have slept like to make it long term or be in a relationship with me. You couldn't have slept with anybody I shook hands with. Because men, that's the first thing a dude gonna say. I mean, there's no trump card to that. Like, you know, I hate your girl. Like, there's no trump card to that ever. So no.
I can understand if it's a friend, but somebody you ever shook
he
hands
ain't playing.
Like, if we're in a circle, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, the world. Okay, think about it like this, right? We can be in the same city and not know the same people, but like, if we scrolling or something, and I'm like, hey, you know, men look at each other in a certain way. Like, men look at each other like, you know, they go ahead and give you the I hear that. You know.
And that's a wrap for you.
Oh yeah, I can't I can't do it.
Yeah. Is it because you want to put your woman on a pedestal and like no one could have ever been with her that you knew? Is that because you want to put her on a pedestal or?
I mean, who knows if he got a tape? He might have tape shoot.
Might be a Ray J type.
Yeah. You see, hey, look, you can't be out here, man, with getting egg shot on your face and then be like in a relationship.
Well, yeah, no, that's different.
I mean, like,
yeah, that's true.
And then if it's one of my partners, like, I mean, or somebody I do business with, make money with, something, it's just weird. Like, that ain't. It's too many other people in the world for me to. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
So there's got to be more. So those are two things that are very relevant. So what else would be a deal breaker sexually?
Sexually, at this point, don't like chicks. I like chicks that like chicks. They're just fun. So at this point, yeah.
Wait a minute. No, wait a minute.
I gotta plug my phone in for this. Hold on.
And I get it. That's fine. Whatever, everybody has.
Okay, so you mean for like extra relationships, like on the side?
No, not of that. But I mean, if she likes girls, it's a lot. Those relationships with chicks that like girls are so much easier because every girl's not a competition; they're a buddy. So if we go somewhere and we cooling and it's just a one-on-one situation, a girl who don't like girls is gonna think scarcity. Girl, get away from my man. Blah blah blah. But
jealousy,
chicks,
that makes sense.
They try to run game too. They're like, look, she cute. We need to go make friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Abundance mindset.
You don't mean sexually, like, if you can't bring a girl home with us, then I can't do it.
Just cooling. I mean, just the vibe is just so different. It's just a real cool vibe. So I mean, at this point, I didn't work this hard and go through what I went through. And most men who have sacrificed and stayed up all night and flew here and closed this and went through anxiety and sacrifice and ups and downs to build something. I mean, it's hard for a woman to hop on second or third base and be like, yo, you're the only one for me. I'm the only one for you forever.
Right.
It's a tough one. That's a real tough one. Like, we ain't come from the sandbox together. It's tough to hop, on the 10-yard line. Think about how they do KD when he hopped on the Warriors. You trying to hop on the Warriors? We already won a championship. It's kind of hard. So yeah.
You almost lost me for a second there. I'm like, oh, come on now.
That's a good analogy.
About that polygamous stuff for a second. So is there anything else that would be a deal breaker? I mean, obviously a loud pack would be a deal breaker, right? If the coochie ain't clean, the pH is off.
Definitely.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much.
Torian, I love your facial expression.
I'm just listening. I mean, I'm taking it all in. I'm taking it all in.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I've heard that, guys like, the most beautiful women, and don't even have to be beautiful, just well put together. And then they get down there and the girl didn't take care of herself. And it's like, come on,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it could have just been a bad day for her, but he just totally writes her off.
A real woman gonna hit you with the note. She not even gonna take that risk. She don't care if it's a mood or not. She gonna keep nope. We just gonna pause.
She gonna hop her ass in the shower.
Facts. I got you though. if y'all out somewhere and it ain't gonna be what it's gonna be, and she's like, hold up, but I got you though. I got you. Bet.
Yeah, that's true. Or if you smelling something through them jeans and you already know to get out of there anyway. I've heard guys say that too. Like I didn't even have to open it up. Like it was coming through the jeans. Like,
yeah, they Captain D's, man. We smell. I mean, that's the end right there. The Captain D's, like yo.
You said the Captain D's. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So ladies, what would be a deal breaker for men sexually if you got down to that 90 days? And we talked about that a little bit more, but I feel like we could dive a little bit deeper into that. What if somebody's not passionate? Like, do you like somebody that's passionate, that knows how to work all your switches?
Yeah. Well, for me personally, go ahead, Charmaine. Okay. I just don't want anybody who's selfish, you know, like everybody is teachable if you want to learn. I just don't want you to be selfish because I'm a very giving person when it comes to those type of situations. So when those situations happen and, you know, you're experiencing that selfish side of somebody, then you think like, okay, no, that is not going to be anything that I'm going to be enjoying to be in a long-term situation. Then that's going to become more of a trap than a relationship. So, yeah, selfishness. That's my number one.
Maybe selfish.
What aspect?
I'm sorry, you said in what aspect?
Selfishness in what aspect? What are we selfish about?
Oh, like say for example, what you said that you liked. If the person wasn't willing to do the return, as long as the both parties were clean and everything together, you know, and you just doing one thing and they're not giving you any type of energy back. That is what I mean, selfish, without, you know, taking time with you, you know, opening you up to get to know what mood you're in right now, what you need in that moment, as your partner is supposed to do with you as well, you know.
Yeah, emotionally available for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think if we grooving though, I always make my partners go get tested. I always go get tested. So we got that paperwork because look, I'm like, man, I'm a real life Q dog. So I'm like, hey, look, let's go get tested. Let's make sure that we both clean. There's no barriers, and we just have a groove, you know. So
and use condoms, use protection. I also put that out there. I gotta throw that in there.
I mean, if we together and we both got tested and we both got clean.
Well, yeah, I mean, to each his own. Depends on how.
Yeah, I mean,
but does that come with monogamy too? Like you got to confirm that.
Definitely at that point,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's very important too. And I think that 90-day period gives you time because for me, when I was dating, like I required paperwork, just like I required to know you have a job. You know, like let me see your paperwork. Matter of fact, I got that rapid CVS test right in my purse. There you go. Yeah. You know, because it is important, especially in our community with the
I know you're there because you're an abuser.
As prevalent as they were, you know, maybe 10 years ago. Just syphilis and all those other, you know, diseases that you can get is very vital. And just making sure that you're both, like you said, clean and on the same page. So yeah, it does take time to do that. And then like
get away from me and stay away. You don't want to stay. No, I want you to stay away from me. You don't want to tell people.
Just hit that mute button.
I'm sorry.
Mute button.
Yeah, you'll have to mute yourself if you're gonna.
Yeah, sorry. Let me do that.
Okay, dear. So and then Charmaine, so for you, Charmaine, for you, if someone, I can't. So if it's someone in particular, like if you require them, is that something that you require? Let me ask you that first. Do you require them to show you your paperwork?
That's a funny you ask that, but yes, I just had that experience for the first time in a long time because I'm, you know, started dating again. But yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. And if someone was like, okay, I'm not showing you my paperwork, like that's not gonna happen, like what would you do?
That's it. I mean, what do you have?
Exactly.
That's a real flag.
That's what I would be thinking. Like,
yes,
I dodged a bullet.
Right. And if someone, well, some people will say, well, we're going to use condoms anyway. So like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Because condoms break, obviously, right? It's like, and then plus once you get to that level where the chemistry is building and you don't want to have to worry about, like, if we decide to take the condom off, like, oh my God, did I do my checks and balances with this person? So yeah, I think it's important in our community to, ask for that paperwork. Don't be afraid to pull out a rapid test from CVS. Like I said, I think they're about $30. And ask that person to take it, because it's important. Yeah, and I do think you have to have a level of commitment and monogamy involved in that too, because if not, then people can say, well, you didn't say we were exclusive or monogamous. I was sleeping with these other people on the side too. And then that kind of defeats the whole purpose of having paperwork, because they're still out here sleeping around. They can still bring stuff to you, obviously. So Dana, when you say, okay, well, the purpose of having the paperwork is to, obviously we don't need to use condoms. How do you assure that, well, you can never assure, but what type of communications do you have with that woman to make sure that you both are just going to exclusively be with each other?
I mean, we'd be locked in. If we locked in, we locked in.
Right.
Like we say, okay, well, I think a lot of that comes from you really respect that person and you guys are friends. I mean, you'll go further for a friend than you will in a relationship anyway.
But is it a conversation that you're having, or is it just like understood?
Like once we go meet, we go together. Like that's it. Like hey, this is it. Like they go to paperwork. You got your paperwork. We good. This is it. We together.
Okay, so you go together as soon as you get them drawn.
Because I mean, once you get to the point where you risking lives, what if we? I have a rule. I never really sleep with a woman who if something were to happen, I can't see myself being with or raising a kid with. So that keeps me out of that rule. Keeps me out the way. So if something were to happen, or the person I'm talking to is a rational person, one, is a caring person, someone I could deal with on a regular basis. So if we meet and we together, then that's a wrap. So if something were to happen, at this stage, I mean, I'm not wasting nobody's time, and I don't want nobody wasting my time. It is, or it ain't.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I mean, especially like you said, if it's someone that you can see yourself with, I mean, what's the point in playing games? And I like that approach as a genuine man, because a lot of men, once they get the draws, whether they use a condom or not, like if they want to just move on, they're not even transparent and telling you why they move on. They just start messing with other people. But at least you're willing to take that commitment to say, look, we go together. Normally it's women who are like, oh, if you sleep with me, you stuck with me, No,
I mean, if we sleep, if like say for instance, right, I think everybody got to try to milk, no matter who wants what, because you got to make sure that from a woman's standpoint, the meat work, we got to make sure that it's a compatibility fit. If you're not the freakiest, which we don't want the freakiest of the freakiest, that's a red flag too. But if it's something you're willing to work on, we can work with. We like, okay, well, you might not do this and that to the best, but I can teach you. Okay, I got a little project. I can mold with that. I can work with that.
I don't really want to teach anybody.
Nah, but I know.
At 36, I'm not trying to teach anybody.
But see, that's
now I'm looking at you like what you've been doing all your life.
If she got her paper together, she got her mind together, she got her spirit together, her finances together, and all she needs to do is put a little extra spit on it. I can roll with that. That's all day. She's solid, she cool, she's smart, she attractive, she trying to do something with her life. I wouldn't throw all that away for a small situation.
Right.
I'll just copy and paste and text you some Pornhub sites or something that you can go take a look at for tutorials. You know what I'm talking about? And you can
exactly.
I guess all that going, but
now you said, Dana, you said something that kind of resonated with me quickly. The freakiest of the freakiest. So what's like the freakiest thing that was a red flag for you, where a woman was like, oh my God, I do this, and you were like, yeah, I'm out the door. Like this ain't it.
If you start sticking stuff in there, man, I think that's a little bit. You stick a bottle or something in there, or 2 liters, something. It's like, ooh, it's like throwing a hot dog down the hallway. I don't know about this one.
What about strippers? Like, are they counted out? Or, I mean, shout out to all my strippers out there.
Strippers are people too. Strippers are the bottle girl. They're the Sunday school teacher. They're the realtor. They're your mortgage broker. They're your future, maybe a future governor, future mayor. So shout out to the strippers. Strippers go get it. Strippers, because you gotta be one aggressive person or outgoing person to go ask a guy for money and strip naked in a club full of people. Those are some of the best salespeople on earth, hands down. they'll take a dude who wasn't gonna spend $1 and send him home broke, trying to figure out how he can tell his wife he didn't spend all the money.
Right.
That's a hell of a salesperson right there.
That's interesting. Yeah. That's so Charmaine, you're single, right?
Right.
So how long have you been single, dear?
Since March of this year.
Oh, okay. So you're freshly newly single. Okay. And you said the dating pool, does it have pee in it?
Yeah.
It's good.
Well,
Yeah.
well, can I say something? Let me ask you this then. If you maybe have you ever written down what you actually like in a guy?
So I recently started doing that.
Okay.
Yes. I'm compiling a list.
Give me like 3 things. Give me 3 things that you like in a guy.
Where's one? Okay, so cleanliness.
Okay.
Open-minded.
Okay. In what sense?
Spiritually.
Okay.
Financially.
Okay.
Sexually.
Okay.
Not too open-minded.
Nothing in the butt, right?
No,
Okay.
no.
All right.
Doing the but hey, I'm sorry, I just thought about that song.
Not in mine, maybe in yours,
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead. And what else? You said openness, cleanliness, and
Driven.
Okay.
I don't want anybody complacent, and I've had that. And when you're not, it's that causes problems.
Well, you can go on Meetup or different groups that have meetups, and you can find like the cleanliness would be, what do clean people go? Like, do they go to conferences? Do they go to events and groups? Go there. And then if people want driven, there are real estate events, multi-level marketing events, there are sales events, room full of people. I just think that, if you write down what you want, like, I like a chick that's fit. So I go to the gym all the time. Not to look for women, but still, I mean, I have a higher likely of finding someone there that's in the same way. So I would just say do that. Write your list, and then there's a group for everything you want. Yeah.
Yeah. So those seem like 3 very simple, straightforward things. Do you find it's hard to find? I know you're newly single, but do you find it's hard to find those things? They seem very simple.
Yes, but I'm also very picky. So that's just 3 of my 3 on the list. But I am very picky. So
how long was the list?
I could get it real quick. Hold on.
I love her.
Let me search my Kevin Samuel memes.
Girl, let's go through that time. Let's go through the whole list. Come on, because we're gonna help some of the ladies out. Because let me, before you get into that, Charmaine, when I was probably 32, I had this long list, and then each year I got older, I started shaving stuff off, because guess what? My ass couldn't find nobody.
Man, if you look at height and you got to Google how many men are actually the height that you want, then that'll dwindle it down. How many aren't either gay, in jail, poor, illiterate? It's just a lot. Go ahead, go with your list. Let's see how we can put this potato head together.
I don't think it's a shallow list like height.
Okay.
I was gonna say let's start with height. I know you got height on there. What's on the height?
It's not. Okay.
I love it.
It's more character type of stuff.
Okay.
So, a man that's open with his with me about his thoughts and feelings.
Women don't like that.
I like to have conversations. I want to know.
Me too. You got to be all the way emotionally available.
Right. And I had to grow into that. I wasn't always like that. I was raised around men. I just wasn't like that. And so I grew into that. And so that's what I want.
Charmaine, what's your zodiac real quick, babe?
Cancer.
Me too. I knew you're a Cancer. We're so emotional. You gotta give me all that love. But we'll put your eye out too. No. You see that? I knew you were a Cancer. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
baby. A man that is honest. A man that works smart. A man that invests wisely financially. A man that is sexy and attractive. someone I can build with, a man that loves me in the language that speaks to my soul, a man that's spiritual, a man that believes in therapy, someone that takes care of our home inside and out, a man that speaks life into me, and a worthy leader. That's all I have to say.
You know what? I love the fact that you zone in on quality and substance, because a lot of those attributes will get you somebody that has great substance. Now, how many people are out there with all those attributes? Girl, the way these hoods are set up nowadays. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, I think if you want to try to find those type of men, you probably need to go to like church events, music.
But I'm not religious.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yoga has a lot of people who are spiritual and
yeah, got all those qualities.
Yeah. And then, I do have my more shallow things. I just haven't written that list yet. But
let's hear that. That's the realness. Come on, give me the top 3.
Yeah, give it to us.
Clean. Like, I want you to be clean. Like, don't pee on the seat. If you see it, wipe it. Okay?
You have to tell them don't pee on the seat. I think you need to raise your
girl. Yeah, you have a tough time.
Wow. Okay.
I would have been divorced if I would have stopped cleaning up my husband's pee. Like, okay, you know what? I'm sick of this. Sometimes you gotta take it for the team.
Yeah. But putting the laundry in the laundry basket, not beside it. Just to, like, be clean. Like, enjoy, take pride in your surroundings. Like,
that's probably
where you dwell. Like,
right.
He doesn't like a clean house.
But
and I'm not your babe, so.
But what if he's not clean, but he does have like a lady that comes over every 10 days and clean the house?
That's fine if he can last 10 days in between.
Sort of, yeah.
And not do too much,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can tell you, husbands, do you desire to be married someday?
I have been.
Okay, so you have been. So husbands are probably worse than children when it comes to cleaning up. And I just learned, you know what? Instead of like cursing everybody out every other day, let me just clean up behind people. And then I always throw in there, I'm not your maid. But
I don't have any desire or interest in that. So I just want somebody that's clean like me.
So was your ex-husband, was he clean or?
He wasn't. He wasn't, but he cleaned. So I
gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So this time around, you're like, no, that's going on top 3 of the list. Not playing.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
What are your deal breakers?
The sexual chemistry has to be. It has to be there. It has to be it. Yeah. Okay. That's the deal breaker for me.
You want somebody to grab you by the back of your head and be like, come on, girl. Are you like that?
I get that vibe. Sorry, man, I get that vibe.
So you want a church brother, that little roughneck, got to wear some Timbs and then throw you up against the wall and do some things. Okay.
And I think that might be my problem. While I'm saying
she named all these attributes. And the last one was like, hold on, the deal breaker. He got to do this. Okay, right.
It's like Jay-Z and Obama, or like DMX and Obama mixed together. I'm just playing. Wow. So yeah, I just good conversation here. I mean, you'll find someone, but girl, you got to get that list down a little bit. Because some things you just might oversee in people if the love is there. And as Cancer women, like protect, provide, and cherish. That's all we want. And even though we have our own, we still want somebody to know that security is like the number one thing. But all the other things will just kind of just come with time. And if it's important to you and they know it's important to you, they'll conform or try to, make you happy in a way. So, so I'm sorry we lost Torin. She was a good panelist. And so how many women, Dan, you're giving me co-host vibes.
For me?
Yeah, you give me. You're really a good attribute to our team.
Thank you.
So how many women do you think really stick out? We're gonna close out with this. How many women do you think really stick out the 90-day rule? I mean, do you feel like over time, like people are even gonna be like thinking this is a thing, or because I feel like some people are on the marriage ship, like they want to get married, so they jump into things, and some people are on the dating carousel the rest of their life, so they don't care. They just hop around. But do you think it's even relevant for us to have a 90-day rule?
I don't think you need 90 days per se. Like it doesn't have to be the 90-day rule. But just trust yourself, you know when it's time or when that chemistry is there.
Right.
Yeah. And even and sometimes the chemistry is there and it's not really time yet, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some women just want to smash too, though. I mean, let's keep
Yeah,
it
they
buck. I mean, they don't, that just keep it a buck. I mean, women you might not be the forever dude. She might be like, look, I need to get beat out real quick. Just, it is what it is. Let's go.
And you look like you got it.
She may be like, you might grapevine, you may come highly.
The worst is when you don't got it, but you looked like you got it.
Through the grapevine, you might come highly recommended. So she done threw the hook out there. You're like, okay, she try to get smashed out, so.
Yeah, and I can tell you as a Cancer woman, and Charmaine, you can probably contest to this. Like, I like to make love. Yeah. So, like, I want to, listen to I want to listen to R. Kelly slow dance in the background. Seems like you're ready. I want to do all my stripper moves for my man and like make love. And then you have
time with him,
Yeah, take my time. Do all that.
What's the best song that you ever made love to, and what's the worst?
My best would probably be Avant. Don't say no. Yes, baby.
She got her jam. Okay.
And then the worst was probably, this is gonna sound crazy because you would think it's like a sex song, is Knocking the Boots by H-Town.
Okay.
Because my partner at the time just went crazy. Like, okay, just chill. Like, you ain't in the videos, sir. Mm-hmm. What about you guys? That's a great question, actually.
Charmaine?
Mine is Jasmine Sullivan. She has a song on her Hotels album, but BPW or BWP. What's it called? Oh, Best Pussy in the World.
Okay. Oh, that's right. It goes together.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what was the worst song?
I don't know if I have a worst, but I remember one time being all in and my Spotify station just played a random gospel song.
Oh.
You didn't stop either, did you?
What you doing? Change.
Like it was like Stomp by Kirk Franklin.
He was trying to stomp it out.
Stomp. Put them hands together.
Yeah.
Make me clap my hands. He's probably trying to clap your ass.
Man, there it is.
Dana, what about you?
I don't really get vibe to music like that, but I'd say so I don't have a worst. Memorable TP2.com when that first came out. That TP2.com, that was lit. Yeah, I was in high school at that time. Okay. R. Kelly, it was the whole. You remember how you had the whole R. Kelly CD? Yeah, that was a great. I don't care, whatever they say about that.
What's R. Kelly's TP2? How old are you?
I'm grown.
Because I'm 36, and I'm just like, I was too young to make love to that.
I'm grown. And then I think one of the most memorable, the Get Rich or Die Trying CD.
Oh no!
Hey, I rip your head, boy. You know I will.
Funny.
I think that was the only CD I had at the time. She was cool. Throw it in. So we were 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying CD.
Yeah, and that's why we need to get back to making love and taking our time with one another, because that's what brings us together, and keeps us together as Black men and women, is building on that chemistry. Like you said, this is all good conversation. We do have a comment here from Invisigoat. I love these names. So this person is saying standards and attributes are things we create to keep ourselves honest while we're alone. Okay. But it's amazing how many of our lists change when we meet someone. So Charmaine, they may be speaking to your list. So we might have these lists, and then when the person gets in the door, we start changing all the rules because we like the person. I don't know. So what's the purpose of the list?
Well, but I get annoyed.
I do too, girl. Remember, I was telling you earlier. After about 2-3 weeks, they did something. That's that cancer. That's that cancer in us, and I don't even have to look for nothing. They just come to my door and be like, "Bye, bye."
Yeah.
Yeah.
All them attributes are like sand, right? If you got one vase and you got a bunch of different pieces of sand, if you got different color sand, one person may be a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's just different pieces.
Yeah.
One person might be caring, but they're not a sucker. You know, I think, or one dude might be tough, but the other dude rob banks or rob people. So I mean, it's just different. It's just different pieces of each thing. So
it is so true. And I could tell you as a cancer woman, like the number one thing that you could do, and Charmaine, I'm not sure if you probably agree. If you move me in a way that I haven't been moved before, then there's a lot of things that I could oversee besides you blacking my eye and okay. I'll clean the pee off the toilet seat. I'll pick up whatever you pubic hairs out the shower drain.
But what moves you? And it depends, I guess. But what moves you?
That's a great question. I would say just a man who is genuine, who is emotionally available. Like you asked me how my day was. You said you're in tune with my spirit, in tune with my mind. You asked me if I'm good, if I need anything, not even financially, but just you know what can I do for you to uplift you? Somebody that just can uplift me. Because if a woman is uplifted and she feels like her man protects her and got her back, he's gonna get anything in the world that he needs from her.
That she will too.
Yep. Yeah. So it's gotta be like a movement to where you could be out at the red light. I don't even give people eye contact no more. I'm like, I see him. I ain't saying nothing. I don't even give people eye contact. Like you said, what? Oh, people be cussing me out. I don't even be responding to people. Because you just get that tunnel vision when you're into somebody and you don't want no noise in the background. But yeah. So what moves you, Dana, in a woman? What does a woman do for you to move you?
I think men just want to be respected and understood in a way, you know. So I think that for me, she just gotta be cool. You'll know that chemistry there. Because if y'all really got that real cool vibe, like,
yeah,
you know, shit, you know, it could be, you know, I've been a place where it was the bathrooms are so co-ed now, so it's just a stall. I was like, yo, I gotta pee. She was like, I'm not waiting. All right, so she came in the stall, came in the thing and peed, and I peed, you know, somewhere else, but. You know, but I mean, it was just you got to have adventures. I like having adventures with a woman.
Yeah,
you know, those are things that are going to last. When when things get tough, you're gonna rely on those things because that's how you become bonds and become friends. You know, so I think about all the God has always blessed me to be in a relationship with a good woman. I haven't had any trashy, terrible relationships. All of them have been my fault. So
that's great.
But I think that just somebody who inspires you. It's a book. It's several books, but one in particular, it always talks about how a woman drives a man to do great things. I mean, you got a man who's driven, who has the right woman as his engine and his family at his back, he can do phenomenal things.
Yep.
And men who are married make more money and they live longer, statistically. So just thinking those things.
Don't. Did you know that?
You said what now?
Women don't. It cuts years off of our lives.
When we get married?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're doing every damn thing. Cleaning toilet seats, pee off the toilet seats.
Mm-hmm.
But you still live longer than men do, though.
Taking up the laundry off.
Yeah, that's true. And they say sex actually helps you live longer, too, like a healthy sex life.
Yeah. I would think so. I mean,
I have heard that, Dana, though. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody wants to, I think men want to be successful. I think from a general sense, and a good woman, man, can be like a rocket or an anchor. The top thing that determines how successful you're going to be is the mate that you choose.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
so, you know, just knowing those particular things and those particular statistics, it just makes me cautious. So I always look for someone, you know, if I'm gonna do that thing with, who believes in prenups. Keep your money, I keep my money. We'll have a middle account, roll with that, you know, because you know, look,
Yeah.
you may.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't before because my parents been married 50 years, so like
Mhm.
I know what marriage is supposed to look like. I have
Yeah.
the idea of it anyway, and they mix finances, everything's there together or whatever. But as someone that has been divorced, yeah, I definitely agree that all that should be separate.
Yeah,
It's true. Yeah, it's becoming a thing now, especially if you both independently make good money. I mean, the money you make separately is what you make separately, but if you're getting it together, then that's a whole separate entity. So, yeah, I agree.
because nobody really coming up out the sandbox anymore. Like my parents have been married almost 50 years.
Oh,
And like
wow.
my grandparents have been married, what, 70 years, 60, 70 years? They old, but they've been married a long time. Ain't nobody getting married that long no more. Instagram, Facebook, the opportunity cost to switch
Right.
partners. I mean, literally, you can go on your phone and switch partners before you make it home. Be like, you know what? This ain't working. Woke up, pick me up tomorrow.
Oh, it's terrible.
So,
Oh, it is terrible. Charmaine, how long were you married for?
3 years.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
all three, or when did you mentally break up?
2.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. How long did you date before you got married?
1.5 years.
Okay. Okay. Did you make him wait 90 days?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Yeah. Well, things
Look at her
happen.
smiling. She even the voice, she's smiling. Okay.
Things happen. Well,
That
guys,
was a problem.
Okay.
But for that.
oh, that's good. Well, guys, this was a great conversation. We may have to do a part 2. Dana, you're giving me co-host vibes, so I'm going to put it out there in the universe.
Okay.
So I appreciate you all for being on. What we like to do is just go around the room. It's a quick little circle, right? Just give our viewers a little insight, a little tidbit on, your advice or, what have you based around the topic we talked about tonight. We'll start with you, Dana.
90 days of advice to women. I would say men don't mind waiting. We just don't want to get skipped. I think that's the main thing. And then men, if she like you enough, she gonna give it to you way before the end. So just keep politicking, you'll be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And Charmaine, what do you have to say there?
I don't subscribe to the 90-day rule, but set your boundaries. Definitely have boundaries. Definitely take some time to see red flags, if any. But 90 days, it doesn't necessarily take 90 days. Don't limit yourself.
Exactly, ladies. It's your world. Men, they just live in it, right? No, but do you guys be safe? Strap up, ask for that paperwork. Just let's just stop running circles around each other and just get together and love and build. So thank you again, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Charmaine. Thank you, Dana, for being on. We lost Torian, but Torian, we'd like to thank you for being on for the time that you were on. Again, everyone, like, subscribe, share. We'll see you guys back here on Thursday. But thank you for joining, and have a good night, everyone.
All right. Peace.